Even Clarence Thomas didn't vote for black people because he's black. This is taking us right back to Jim Crow days. This is Jim Crow segregation. Thank God for the Supreme Court. Now, I didn't really understand the details of this thing called gerrymandering. I didn't really get what it was all about. How does it affect the vote? If you have a certain amount of Democrats and Republicans, let's say in a state, and you redraw the lines of the districts, the voting districts, how does that affect? There's still this many Republicans and this many Democrats. And if they go to the polling places, aren't the Democrats going to get their amount of voters and the Republicans will get their amount and whoever has more wins? But if you redraw the lines and the districts where there's more Democrats in that district because you've sucked in a big portion of something that has nothing to do with the district, but you redrew the border of the district to include more Democrats, then in your local elections, that district is going to have a majority Democrat voting base. And they call that gerrymandering. You probably hear the word and go like, what the fuck does that mean? I always wondered, like, what was it? So I looked it up. I did a little research. And the origin of the word itself is retarded. It's so, you'd think it would mean something technical, maybe mandering, like meandering, like you're getting your mitts in something that doesn't belong. Gerrymandering, like what is it? Like jerry rig, jury rig, N-word rig, like rigging. No, that isn't it at all. And I've never heard of this, so I'll assume you never did either. Gerrymandering, Gerrymander, to gerrymander. The word comes from 1812 in Massachusetts. Governor Elbridge Gerry, a Democratic Republican, guess they had that back then, signed a redistricting bill. This was one of the first instances where someone redrew the district lines in a very free-form kind of a way. Before that, it was divvied up by roads and districts, and it was a lot more representative of the county or the district. He redistricting the bill that signed a redistricting bill that created oddly shaped state Senate districts favoring his party. That's when he, take in a bunch of your party guys, and now that's the whole district. And you go, oh, yeah. See, we're all same party here. One district looked like a salamander, an image of a salamander. So a political cartoon in the Boston Gazette called it the gerrymander. Elbridge Gerry and his salamander-shaped district, a gerrymander. The term stuck and evolved into gerrymandering. That's how silly that was. I thought there was a much more, like from the Latin mandarus, which means to Jerry means, but no, a guy with the last name of Jerry drew a district that looked like a salamander. Gerrymander. But everyone is getting so pissed off because in the southern state of Louisiana, there was an attempt to redistrict based on race. Now, a lot of these gerrymanderers, a lot of this gerrymandering is based on politics, Democrat, Republican, economics sometimes, rich and poor. But it's to hold on to power. Democrats want bigger Democrat districts in their local elections. And they count the population in these districts to dole out congressional seats in D.C. So you'll end up getting, and state Congress, you'll end up getting more seats, more Democrat seats, if you can put more people in your districts as Democrats. See how it works? I hope you now kind of understand what gerrymandering is, the salamander from Jerry. But to redistrict on racial lines, it's unconstitutional and illegal. And they were trying to do this in Louisiana, and it went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court just decided with the Constitution, I believe the 14th Amendment, no, you can't do this. This is unconstitutional. You cannot base districting lines on race. You can't want more black people in your districts and redraw them to suit your whim. Well, what do you think the Democrats and liberals are saying about this? Do you think they're saying it's racist? Are they once again dragging the old Jim Crow trope out again? Chuck Schumer said that. This is taking us right back to Jim Crow days. This is Jim Crow segregation. Ow, almost went up my nose. Meanwhile, this is segregation. This is the worst. You're not allowed constitutionally to redistrict based on race. Let's watch Whoopi Goldberg.
You know, this decision, we knew this was coming because they've been chipping away at this for a long time. The court said, you know, there's no problem with race anymore. And yet we're fighting every day talking about Project 2025. We know what's happening. And it's happening. It's going to start happening to women as well. Because all these changes in voting where they're saying you can't use your married name, you got to go get your birth certificate. You know, so this is going to affect a lot of people. Right now, it sounds like it's just affecting people of color. We know better. We knew this was coming. So this is meant to discourage you from voting. This is meant to make you feel like you don't have a voice. You do have a voice. What? Do not forget that. But do you see it as a step backwards also?
Alito argued that the vast social change has occurred throughout the country, and particularly in the South, indicating that racism no longer exists in this country. I can tell you, as a Black woman, that my father was born in 1949. He remembers segregated schools. He remembers segregated water fountains. He remembers that he did not have full civil rights. And he told me when I turned 40 years old that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And he is still alive today, and I am still alive today, and I have been discriminated against.
Pause that
and
right
now
there. That is a great example of how far we have come. The audience groaned when she went. So they say, you know, there's no more racism in this country. And the audience, oh, really? Yeah. Your example you're making with your father is a great example. In 1949, he couldn't do a lot of things that other Americans, white Americans, could do in this country. As an American citizen, he could not do that. Now, there is nothing that a Black person is prevented from doing that anyone else in this country can do. Nothing. The law dictates it. It is in place. It is being utilized. Believe me, if someone feels they've been slighted in some way, and that's the way things are today. Her father got to see the progress that was made racially in this country. And we don't have a racist country. There is not systemic racism going on. There aren't states and counties working with this apartheid system or racist policies like the good old days, the Southern sheriffs. You in a heap of trouble, boy. They don't exist anymore. And she thinks they still do. The audience thinks they still do. And they think that certain political advantages are necessary in order to right these continuing wrongs that are going on even as we speak. And that's a fucking lie. This woman is lying. Let her continue here.
I have to tell my children that they have less civil rights than I did when I was born.
That's true.
That is disgusting, despicable, and I am devastated by this particular Supreme Court decision, even though we did know this was coming.
What about Clarence Thomas? Didn't he stick up for his own?
No,
he did not.
For his own what?
Part of the majority here.
Yeah.
This has repercussions.
What about Clarence Thomas? Did he stick up for his own people? He's supposed to make decisions based on the color of his skin? To Clarence Thomas's credit, he's never done that. And he's been called an Uncle Tom and a piece of shit and a house and all the other shit he's been called for making Supreme Court decisions based on the law, not his skin color, like we see these activist judges doing these days, which is getting people literally killed. But there's Joy Behar. Even Clarence Thomas didn't vote for black people because he's black? Do they understand how this shit's supposed to work? Because they're liberal black justices, or they're liberal justices of color, Hispanic or black, will indeed vote on racial lines, throwing the law away to just vote based on racial lines. And there's Joy. Why didn't he vote for black people? Oh, my God, how this show survives. Oh, my God, no one should be watching that. I watch so you don't have to.